Welcome all. Welcome to Arrow Entertainment Live, right here on Spreaker.com from iHeartRadio. This goes out to our biggest fan. Oh yeah. So that goes out to our biggest fan out there. You know who you are, buddy. Anyway, everybody, welcome to the show. You are watching us live on our Facebook page, Arrow with a Name. If you guys are on Facebook, be sure to follow us on there at Arrow WAN 2022. This broadcast will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, Arrow Entertainment. Be sure to hop on over there to YouTube and subscribe if you watch us on YouTube. This is our weekly Spreaker mini pods that I like to call them. So whenever I don't have an idea for a full-on stream, for a full-on episode of Tuned In Live, I usually come over here and get my thoughts out on here so you guys can, have a quick listen, 15 minutes. Not that bad. Not that bad at all, Now, however, I do have a new podcast coming out here soon. It's called The Other Side. If you follow us on Facebook, then you know what it's all about. I also got it in our Discord page as well. So if you'd like to follow us on our Discord server, hop on over to Facebook, message us, let us know, and we will shoot you a link to our Discord server, and I'll get you in there today. So today's episode 4, The Trashman Cometh. Now, this comes after last week of roasting the Minnesota Menace. Guy who likes to ramble on, 60-some-year-old man who's all about making grrr, A guy who spends his time driving around in his wife's car, supposedly picking people up at the airport or whatever. Anybody can fucking do that. That's what Uber's for, And then he talks about, do what I do. I build computers. I take parts from 3 or 4 different computers and put them into one. That's something I know. Holy shit. A fucking 5-year-old can do that. I've built my own computers. I know how to build computers. I've been dealing with computers for over 20 years. What the fuck are you talking about? But anyway, that guy, he's a nobody. He's already been roasted, toasted, and burnt to a crisp, so he's a piece of trash, so fuck him. But anyway, after I did the half-hour special, the 2 episodes that you probably missed on here, the Minnesota Menace, so I walked away from the computer, and it was on a Friday, of course. Friday is trash day around my area. And I hear this arguing going on outside. And I'm like, okay, there's arguing going on outside in front of my house. Garbage trucks standing outside. So I'm seeing there's a total of 4 or 5 guys out there. And 4 of them, let's say there's 4. Yeah, there's 4 guys. There's 5 guys. There's 5 guys. 4 of them are black and 1 white guy, right? Now, they proceed to take our trash, and I just see the white guy, he's just standing there arguing with this one black guy who, he's not dressed for the job. He's wearing a black coat and jeans, and he doesn't look like he's part of the crew. In fact, he looked like, I want to say he's probably somebody who lived in the neighborhood. And he's out there arguing with this white guy over something. Now, I kind of wish I had my windows open to hear the conversation, but I didn't want to look like I was trying to be part of it, because it's literally like 25 feet away from my house, right there on the street. So I'm like, I'm not trying to be noticed or anything. I'm just standing there watching in the window, and they don't even know I'm there. So he proceeds to pick up the trash bags or the trash can, and then he drops them. And he's standing there arguing with the black guy, and the black guy, you know, he's making motions like he's pointing at my house and shit. And I'm like, okay, why the fuck are y'all pointing at my house? And what the fuck did we do? I mean, is it the fact that we accumulate so much garbage in a week? That's a sad thing. I live in an area, and it's not a development. They're not row homes. It's an actual house. You know, you got a backyard, big front yard, that kind of thing. It's a community, you know. It's residential community. And I'm like, what the fuck did we do? You know, you're pointing at my fucking house. Like, don't fucking point at us because we set a lot of garbage out there. Like, there's a lot of people in the neighborhood that has a lot of trash. In case you haven't noticed, it's tax season. Now, we didn't really spend tax money or tax refund on big, expensive, exquisite things. Like, we already got that kind of shit taken care of, you know? We're not getting new beds. We're not getting new TVs. We're good with what we have, you know? I'm looking at my nice 65-inch 4K LG TV, smart TV at that. Got that last year, so there's no reason for me to upgrade to something bigger and better. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with my computer. We're fine with our bed, you know, like, we ain't got that kind of trash, but it's funny that people do accumulate so much garbage within a week. And it's either food related or, you know, other, you know, any kind of related. It doesn't even have to be food. It could be random shit. And yeah, we are able to fill up the fucking garbage cans. Like, remember back in the day, back in the 80s and the 90s, when you had those fucking metal aluminum fucking garbage cans and shit? And that was something else, you know, the fucking things that you put a good dent on them. Hey, they made for good backbreakers, though, I'll tell you that. They make for very good backbreakers. You know, if you need a chiropractor. If you need a chiropractor, all you need is a garbage can. I mean, even Homer Simpson proved that shit, you know. But then we got into the era where we need bigger garbage cans. We need something bigger, you know. So you start getting plastic garbage cans. You start getting the ones that start looking like big boxes, big rectangle boxes, you know, with lids and shit. And and every time one breaks or whatever, you would have to go to the store and buy a new one, et cetera, et cetera. But nowadays, depending on where you live, you don't even really have to buy a garbage can. The county provides one for you. That's the best thing about the county I live in now. They provided us with our own recycle bin, and they provided us with our own garbage cans. So that's a pretty nifty thing right there. But anyway, so they're arguing. These two guys are going at it. The white guy, I shit you not, he's fucking tweaking the fuck out. Like, I've never seen a guy argue and his fucking head is just like seizuring from an argument. And there's a lot of vigorous and vicious pointing of the fingers and shit. And I'm just trying to understand what the hell these guys are talking about. I'm just standing here. All I'm needing now is a fucking bag of popcorn, you know? I'm just standing here watching these guys go at it. And then another guy, he I guess he tries to calm him down, but he's just like even argumentative with the other guy. So then I see one of the guys is like, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and get the garbage. You know, he starts taking the garbage can over. And the one guy kind of like takes my can out of his hand and he's proceeding to argue with him. I'm like, look, motherfucker. You know, I'm thinking this in my head. I'm like, look, motherfucker. Don't take my fucking can and start throwing it all over the goddamn place. Like, I'm worried about my car in the driveway. I'm worried if this motherfucker's going to start throwing garbage cans around because he hates his fucking coworkers. He hates his job, you know? So the other guys, you know, they're trying to do their job. You know, they're trying to help out. It's like, yeah, look, they got a lot of trash. So fucking what? Let's get this loaded in and take off, you know? That kind of thing. But this one black guy, like I said, he's dressed like a residential, you know, somebody in the community, you know. He doesn't look like he's a garbage man, you know. Everybody else is wearing, you know, the vests and everything. This guy ain't. And he's arguing with this one white guy. And in my mind, I'm thinking either the trash guys ran over his can or hit something or hit his car or something, or maybe they didn't pick up his trash and they just fucking left it. That's what I'm thinking. Like, does this guy live up the road Did they do something to this poor guy to make him come up and say, yeah, fuck you back, or whatever? But then, like, the argument, it just keeps going. And they're face to face with each other. And I'm waiting for one of them to fucking lay him out. I'm waiting for the white guy to say, you know what, fuck this job, I quit, and punch the motherfucker out. Like, I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking, like, are you all pissed off because of the amount of garbage that we have in our fucking front yard to pick it up? Like, look, dude, it ain't my fault that you picked this job. It's not my problem. You picked this job. You chose to work for the county. You chose to pick up trash for a living. This is your job. This is what you get paid to do. You probably get roughly the same pay as I do, maybe a little bit more to do it. And you're picking up trash, what, once a fucking week? So I don't know what the hell you... I mean, I'm pretty sure you work 4 days a week at the dump, you know, compacting trash and shit. Who knows? But once a week, you're out here picking up garbage. Like, how long does that take? You know, depending on the amount of area that you cover, that's an all morning job. You know, you start at the ass crack of dawn. Sometimes you start at like 6 a.m. and you work all the way up to what, noon, 1 o'clock, just picking up garbage. And all you're doing, you're cruising on the back of a garbage truck. You're holding onto the handle and shit, and then the truck makes a stop. You get off, grab a can, dump it, throw it back, and you're good. You don't have to worry about driving around. You don't have to worry about maneuvering corners and shit. You're just chilling. You're just hanging there on the handle, you know. You're outside in the elements, you know. I would hate to be you, you know, if it rains out there and you gotta pick that shit up. Wet garbage. Nobody wants to handle wet garbage, you know. But I'm like, this dude, you picked this job to do, and you're having a heavy argument with your coworkers over what? Over the fact that somebody has a shit ton of guns. You should see my garbage pile right now. We got a new kitchen table about 2-3 weeks ago, and there's one that, you know, we've been trying to get rid of, and nobody wanted it. You know, so I was like, all right, fuck it, we'll leave it outside for the trash men. So we got a fucking garbage can out there. You know, we got 2 garbage cans out there. We got a kitchen table with some chairs that nobody wants. I mean, the stuff's pretty old. It's like 5 or 6 years old, but it's like, you know what, whatever, fuck it. They'll take anything. We got a recycle bin full of fucking boxes. We got a ton of boxes out there. So it's a mountain of garbage in our front yard. I'm not afraid to admit it, you know. Like I said, people accumulate garbage, you know. Like, that's the norm of today. It's not like, hey, I'm going to put like 1 bag in a garbage can and sit it up by the road. Like, yeah, maybe that's a garbage man's dream to pick up 1 bag and that's it. Like, no, people accumulate garbage, you know. People eat food. People buy shit to put together. People buy things in boxes and bags, you know. That stuff goes out to the trash, you know. Then there's some areas that aren't as lucky to have, you know, that kind of service where a truck comes through, picks up your trash and goes. You would have to end up driving the shit to the dump yourself. I mean, we do live, I live in between 2 different dumps in my area. And they're both roughly about the same distance from each other, you know, from me, you know, in the 2 different directions. So it is what it is. So after this heavy argument went on, they drove away. You know, the white guy, he's hanging onto the front door on the driver's side. He's still fucking yelling back at the other guys. And then, of course, the guy in the black jacket, you know, he's hanging on the back of the truck. I'm like, okay, he's probably the boss or the supervisor. So I'm like, oh, you're fighting with him. I can only imagine the outcome of that when they got back to base, you know, but still, it's something that I wish I had my phone for, and I wish I would have recorded it and all, because that would have made for a good YouTube video right there, but describing how it went down doesn't do it justice. But that's my story for the Trashman Cometh. Anyway, guys, I'm heading out of here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, you know, follow us on there. Also follow us on our streaming channel, twitch.tv/error with a name. Next week we may go live again with tune in live and a couple game streams. So we'll let you know. Follow us on Facebook at Arrow WAN 2022. This is Mike. Check out episode 5 coming soon. And remember, stay tuned in.